Welcome to Global Insiders Podcast. I am Ryan, the peripatetic one, bringing you information about opportunities relating to jobs, traveling, and any information that can elevate you to your rightful place in this thing called life. You can find more information and how to methods on globalinsidersgroup.com. That is insiders with an S. And here is today's show. Hello, good morning, everyone. Today I have a very special guest, Mr. Igol Allen. Igol spent time in the States with his wife on a J2 visa. His wife was doing a residency there, and he went to the States on a J2 visa. Persons can go to the States on J2 visas if they have a spouse or if they're a child of someone who has a J1 visa. And I spoke about the J1 visa in the previous episode. So today we will be learning about the J2 visa. I really hope that you find this show to be informative and interesting. So please sit back and enjoy. Now let's dive in. So first of all, how did you become eligible for a J2 visa?
I became eligible for a J2 visa through my wife, who was doing her residency. I'd done her USMLE exams and done what they call the match, which is where you try and find a university or hospital that is to your liking, and then you go through an interview process and they create a match. So it's a mutual beneficial arrangement for training, and also what it does create is staffing for that hospital program. She was in a surgery program at the time.
That sounds right. That sounds correct because those are the stipulations for the J1 visa. The J1 visa is like a cultural exchange type visa where persons with special skills can come in and they can join programs or organizations based on the skills that they have. Okay, so that's good. Sounds really, really good. So what about the visa process for you though? Going to the embassy in Jamaica and so forth. Did they ask you really difficult questions? Was it a hard time? Was it like difficult for you? How difficult? What's the level of difficulty?
What had happened, the visa applications had gone in together because she applied and we had one child at the time who was 6 months old, right? So everything was submitted together because I'd already had I think it was a B2 visa, if I remember correctly, but the regular visa, traveling visitors visa. So what we did was just submit the passports because the baby had already had a visitor's visa as well. So we just submitted everything together. We got them back and then traveled like a few weeks later. The process wasn't difficult at all. They were quite accommodating. I don't remember having any challenges with the entire process, to be honest.
Yes, you're correct. It's a B visa. The visiting visa is a B1/B2 visa. Okay, nice. So now, how long did you stay in the States?
Stayed a year in the States. We were in Charleston, West Virginia. It was definitely an interesting time. Because there weren't very many people of our skin tone there. It was a Republican state. Um, what I found very interesting were the historic buildings, and we live right along the Kanawha River. And for me, that was an escape of sorts to just sit by the river sometimes, even though it wasn't in the greatest of conditions in terms of its environmental status. But hey, I'm a guy who grew up by the beach and just loves water, so it was nice.
Yes, that is the thing with living away from home. You have to find out some way or somehow. And these are the things we have to deal with when we're away from home. Many persons do not understand this, but yes, those are the things that we have to deal with.
What I would recommend for persons who are doing these programs is that they take a little bit of home with them, be it in the form of videos. Food was another challenge in terms of adjusting, because you're accustomed to a certain type of cuisine. So what I would recommend is find the culture stores that are close by. Do some research on the area and see if, for example, your ethnic group is there, persons of a similar culture. One of the simple challenges I had was finding hard-dough bread. So I made adjustments with things like rolls or raisin bread, that type of thing.
Thank you very much, Igol. You have given a lot of tips and you have made a lot of suggestions. But is there any final tip you'd like to share to someone who is going up on a J2 program with their spouse, or just anything to help them to, any advice that you think they should really take? And
one advice I'd give persons is get to know the city you're in terms of the culture. Go out. Do not stay in the house all the time. Take walks. Take your camera or your smartphone. Take pictures. Make a log of the journey. And also find something, be it a job or volunteer while you're there, because oftentimes being on a J2, that means your spouse is working and they're oftentimes very busy, especially if they're doing a residency program, right? And integrating into the society will help you a lot. The persons is that they will need to apply for a social security number. So before they go, they should research where their social security office is so they can apply for the social security number. It took about a couple of days for it to come through, if I remember correctly, but it wasn't a tedious or unusually difficult process, if I remember correctly.
thank you so much for all those wonderful tips. Now, how can the people reach you on social media?
Social media, I'm Igol Allen on both Twitter and Instagram, IGOLALLEN. And I'm easy to find on Facebook. Once they reach out, then I'll respond.
Thanks for listening today. I hope you are inspired. You can find more helpful and motivational material at globalinsidersgroup.com. That is, insiders with an S. You can also keep in touch at Global Insiders on Instagram. See you next time, but remember, you can be your own superhero. Bye.